on presenting our ideas to the board?
Well, once again, here's what you got to think about when you think about the school board. What do you think the school board's here for?
Board the school.
What's the school board do?
Board the school.
What's that? Budget? By the way, let me ask you this. Is there lots of extra money hanging around?
No.
Okay, so you got to put yourself in their shoes. Don't have a lot of extra money. Okay? So if you can show to me, if you want me to do something, persuade me to do something, you've got to show it's going to be in our group's best interest. Is it going to be in the interest of the entire school district and not just Miss Bonner? Okay? So you got to think, how's this going to help the school overall? How's it going to help the children overall? How's it going to help, people who become citizens and residents of Hayward? How's it going to help them? Okay? Yes, ma'am.
How should you typically move during the presentation? Should you sway back and forth or pace back and forth in front of your presentation?
Well, how's this?
Very good.
Okay. How's what I've been doing so far? By the way, walking around and moving also burns up nervous energy. So do not stand in one spot, and then you get the people who almost fall because they get to put their feet next to the other. If you're going to stand in one spot, straighten your feet a little bit, get a little balance. But if you move around just a step or two is fine, okay? So moving around a little bit is always good. Now, oftentimes when you're talking to a group like a school board, you stand at a table, you can't necessarily move around a lot, but you can take a step one direction and a step another direction. That helps you make eye contact with people, because generally you're going to be at a long table. So you can move back and forth just one or two steps is fine. Okay? Dress professionally. Okay? Dress like how your parents would like for you to dress. How's that sound? Not how you want to dress. How when you walk out of the house, say, what could I wear that would make my parents very proud? Okay? Make them proud of you. Okay? Yes, sir.
All right. What made you be a speaker?
What made me be a speaker? That's a really good question. Oh, that's a really good question. I was selling a lot of real estate in Hayworth and Bloomington, and I got really interested in speaking and teaching new agents who were coming in. And to be honest with you, I really enjoyed it. And I'll tell you what changed my life. I took a Dale Carnegie class. And you get older, you guys will hear a thing called Dale Carnegie. And Dale Carnegie goes back to the 1930s. There's a book that every kid should read, okay? How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I'll tell you what, that's a great book to research for doing any kind of speech. How to Win Friends and Influence People. It is how to get into someone else's mind and think about what's best for them. And so anyhow, I started doing it, and I liked it, and it was fun. And it was kind of, like I say, it was kind of a natural high. I really got excited. It was just like playing basketball and scoring the winning goal every day. So after class, I felt really excited. I helped people. I had people that I taught who became very successful real estate agents out there. And so I really enjoyed it, okay? So now I travel and teach a lot. Made a lot of new friends, okay? Who else? Yes, Miss Bonner.
Alrighty. So going back to what Logan was talking about with the board, you are a founding member of HEF.
Right.
We are hoping, with fingers and toes crossed, that HEF will support us quite a bit in this endeavor.
Okay.
So if you were to pretend to be a HEF member right now,
okay,
and we were to bring this idea to you, what would be some things that you would want us to, or what would you want to see from us?
I would want to see numbers.
Right?
I would want to see that you got bids to get, in other words, if you're going to buy cabinets, that you just didn't go to one place and get bids from one person. You did some research. Here's 3 different type of cabinets we could get to put up here. I know they're big at, and on there you have past school board members, you have teachers, you have community members, but most people are involved one way or another in education. Mr. Uppergraff's on there. So anyhow, They look, and you know, we raise all that money. We have a big fundraiser next spring, and so they do not have unlimited amount of money. And you know, they have right now more. They have more people right now. There's more people. There's more money being asked for than what they have. Okay. So you got to think, okay, how would what we do benefit the whole school maybe, or more people other than just, the more people you can benefit with what you do, the better off you're going to be. And it's not going to be some kind of short-term little thing. It's going to have some lasting impact.
Would you constitute this project to be one of those types of projects in terms of its longevity? It will be something that would be long-lasting?
Well, I know that there's a lot of people, you know, right now wanting computer and technology stuff, and that's something the school board's been looking at from a different angle right now, and so they're not going to touch that one right now. Yeah. Anyhow, you have to say, well, this, you know, how long will this project? If you did this stuff, would it be good for how many years to come? Would be a good idea. It's going to last for 10 years or 20 years or something else, and it's going to better prepare kids for high school. That would be a good issue too. More questions? Yes, ma'am.
Like, during a presentation, should, like, if we're presenting to the board or something and they have a question during our presentation, we take it then or at the end of our presentation?
Very good. I think oftentimes when you start a presentation, if you're nervous, let's say you're nervous. I was at a meeting yesterday where there was about 800 people at, and the presenter said before they started, I know you're going to have lots and lots of questions. Could you please hold them to the end? We'll have a question and answer period at the end because a lot of your questions will be answered by the presentation. So it's probably how you feel. I think in most situations with something like this, you're going to make the presentation, and if you feel comfortable, someone raise their hand, you can ask it then, or you could say, if you want to wait, we'll take all your questions at the end. If you're going to do that, I would say start your presentation with that. Hi, I'm Joe Smith from Hayworth 8th grade class. I'm here to present this. We're going to do a presentation for you, and then we'll take all your questions at the end. And that might be a good way to start if you don't want to do that. Okay? Anything else? You guys are a lively group today. Woo, woo. Woo. Yes, sir. Question? Or you just raise your hand because you're lively. Woo.
Oh, you're very lively, White.
Yes.
Mr. Kidwell, what is your thought on different types of presentations in terms of, we spoke to the architect the other day,
Okay.
and she suggested to us to really think outside the box when creating and presenting our proposal.
Okay.
She had suggested iMovie. She had suggested something maybe other than PowerPoint. Is that acceptable?
Absolutely.
In presenting?
It'd be very cool.
And so then, can you maybe speak to the quality of what those presentations would look like? We can't throw something with marker or throw it in front of an audience.
Well, whatever you do should be, you know, fairly professional. Whether it be PowerPoint or a movie or whatever you do should be professional. If you want to show them some ideas, let's say you could go on to YouTube or someplace and splice together some clips of what other classrooms look like and give us some ideas of what this could look like and how it could change. By the way, if you could ever get any research that we went to a certain type of classroom and students got better grades, boy, that would be, to me, you can prove your case, okay? Just speculation, well, okay, the kids will have more fun in the classroom is not going to sway me as a voter to vote for you. Well, it's going to be a lot more fun for the kids. I'm sorry, that's not, you know, are the kids going to get better grades? They're going to interact better? Are they going to, you know, what's it going to be better for their future? All those kind of things. By the way, also don't use slang when you're, I hope you know that, right? Use proper English when you're giving a speech, especially to a group like this you're trying to influence. Anybody else?
So can you confirm, like, the idea, you use the term professional visuals. So when we define professional visuals, that would be an iMovie. It would be something done as a graphic or on the computer, or, it's nothing that's hand-drawn necessarily or handwritten.
Probably not
Okay.
hand-drawn or handwritten.
Credibility issues there, right?
Exactly, well, from Genius Hour last year, the posters. The ones that are hand-drawn just don't look as good as just printing it out and whatever. So if you had visuals, visuals are always good. Also, I think not everybody who's going to be in these groups is going to have been in this room. So you might want to start with a video of the room as it is now. Here's what it is now. Here's what we can do now. Here's what we would like to do. And maybe at some point you have at least a few slides or something where you could go to, if they ask a question, and point and say, okay, maybe you have several slides with just stills of each wall where you can say, okay, on this wall, here's what we want to do, and here's what we want to do. Or you have a very nice, well-drawn floor plan, okay? It's something to show them that you've done your homework. And the more you guys can do yourself, the better off. And we did this ourselves using what we have in the classroom right now. And especially, you've got money from HEF before, right? First thing you want to do, I think, when you're giving a presentation is what you gave us in the past, how we used it, thank them for it, and results of that.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Because I definitely have a lot of miles, and it's all because of that.
Okay? Very good. By the way, is silence okay when you're speaking? Is silence okay? Oh, silence can be, no, but silence can be very powerful.
So maybe when, like when you're talking about a certain thing that you're supposed to do, and when you ask them a rhetorical question that they all know the answer to, then you could use silence and sort of make them think your way.
Very good. I'll say silence can be powerful. Sometimes, if you go to church on Sunday, oftentimes the minister will say something and then stop and not say a word, but it soak in. And that sometimes can be very powerful too.
Softball and cross-country. Okay. See you later. Is baseball leaving too?
Man, that's everybody.
I'm the only baseball.
Run, Steven, run.
Okay, Joe. Dude. Okay.
This videotape the people are leaving, that's great.
Yeah. Part two must have been.
Mr. Kidwell, we got the kids leaving, so we're gonna
That's
kind of wrap
fine.
things up.
Let's go.
Does anybody have any final questions for Mr. Kidwell while he's here?
I'll be back next spring. We'll work on your Genius Hour stuff. And,
Mr. Salento has one right behind it.
ah,
How do you typically persuade your audience? Do you have like a general idea of something?
well, once again, everybody listens to the same radio station. You know what that is? There's one radio station, everybody, the call letters are WIFM. Okay? What's in it for me? WIFM, what's in it for me? So when you're talking to anybody, persuade someone to your way of thinking. First of all, there's a lot of little techniques. Get them saying yes. Get them agreeing with something. Do we all agree we need to do this? Do we all need to agree to do that? Do we all need to agree to do this? And then you get everybody in that positive mode, the positive thinking, the positive spin on it. Okay? Seriously, look for this old book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's about 50 ways in there to get people to get them over to your way of thinking. Okay? But you always have to look what's in it for them and look at their best interests, not yours. Okay? So once again, what would the school board look for? What would HEF look for? What's in it for them? Not what's in it for you.
That's a good one, Mr.
WIFM. What's in it for me? Okay.
All right, round of applause for Mr. Kidwell.